Hey there, everybody. I'm Conrad Franz, joined, of course, by Dr. Steve Turley himself. And we were thinking we wanted to kind of share with you some of the discussions and conversations we have behind the scenes, a few kind of the bigger picture ideas that really make Turley Talks what it is, and the message of national populism and retraditionalization that Dr. Steve brings to you every day. We want to kind of share with you some of these broader ideas and questions, the stuff that we talk about, when we meet up and when we talk on the phone about these big ideas. If you don't know, I work behind the scenes at Turley Talks. I help with turleytalks.com. I, again, help Steve work through some of these ideas. I've done a lot of stuff on the social media, so some of you may know me. But with all that being said, we're going to talk about some things. So, how do you see 2024 happening for the Democrats? It seems that the DNC is keeping Joe on a tight leash. I don't think they're interested in Biden 2024, honestly. And I hear they don't want Kamala for obvious reasons. We already experienced her chance on the debate stage. So, what do you think? Who do you think is going to run? I mean, I think we obviously know Trump's running for the Republicans. He's definitely, I think, the most likely nominee at this
Yeah.
point. But who are the Democrats going to put up? Are they going to bank on just not put anyone up, bank on Joe? Or are they going to have a bunch of challengers? Is he inevitably going to step down in some months before the primaries ramp up, and they're going to put in new people? Like what are we looking forward to?
Yeah. Well, again, this is the kinetics versus thermodynamics. We'll have to see how it all plays out for sure. I'm not altogether clear on how things are going to exactly play out on the Democrat side. I'm still of the opinion that Biden is not going to run again. I think call this a kinetic prediction, so it can
Mm-hmm.
change in 12 hours, right? But I don't think Biden is going to run. I don't think he has the physical or cognitive capacity to run again. But if Biden doesn't run again, I don't think Kamala is going to get the nomination either. I think the knives are going to come out, and I think you'll
Mm-hmm.
see a whole slew of candidates vying for the nomination. What do we have? Williamson who just announced that she's going to be running. I think you'll see a whole slew of candidates vying for the nomination as a result. Kamala is very, very unpopular. She wasn't even getting 1% when she was running in 2020. So, but we'll have to see. It all comes down to whether or not Biden runs again. If he doesn't, all bets are off.
Yeah, I think it's very likely that I think behind the scenes they've got the boot on his neck in a lot of ways, and if they just press a little bit, he'll be like, "All right, I'm done. I'm already old,"
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And
He'll
I
call the shots.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, look, he's unpopular outside of California, but he's like cognitively sharp. He's aware. He honestly, like, he takes down hostile reporters. Like Gavin Newsom would
Oh,
be
Gavin Newsom. Yeah, sure,
he would
sure.
be
Yeah. Oh, he'll definitely enter. Yeah, I could
he'd be a
definitely see him enter.
formidable opponent. Like, people need to remember, like,
Oh,
maybe
sure.
people may be used to dealing with like a silly person like Kamala Harris, but Gavin Newsom, he's more like he's more like a Trumpian, not in like his background or anything, but in how he could actually probably succeed on a political stage
Yeah,
and,
he's
and
slick.
build a
He's
build a
definitely
brand.
slick. Yep. Yep.
And they want someone they know they're suffering from an incompetence issue, so they would maybe sacrifice some of their woke credentials for a competent but woke white man. I think that's something that they
Interesting.
would
Yeah.
be
There you go. Yep. No, I
which
think that's
shows
very
you
plausible.
that after all of this woke stuff, they would still elect a heterosexual white male. I think is once again is it kind of
That's right.
betrays the game a little bit. I think.
That's right. Gang, make sure to click on that link below. Protect yourself from our current economic insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. You know, patriots of the centuries, we have always relied on gold and silver to protect our assets during economic storms. And that's where the amazing patriots over at Goldco come in. If you've got $50,000 or more in an IRA, 401k, or savings account, you need to protect those assets from bumbling Biden's insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. Click on that link below. Talk to our good friends over at Goldco. They want you to succeed so much. They're offering up to $10,000 in free silver if you open up an account with them. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com.
But speaking of presidents and the kind of culture that America's breeding to have, like, we had Trump, we then kind of went back into old form with the geriatric career politician with Biden, but I think a lot of people think this, even though he doesn't talk about it. Like, Elon Musk is somebody who at one point was the richest man in the world. He's at this point one of the most famous Americans besides like Trump himself. He operates in multiple industries. Do you think Elon Musk would ever want to enter politics, be president, anything like that? Is that something you maybe see on his in his future?
It's very interesting. That's a very interesting question. No, I don't know. Can he? I don't know. I doubt. I don't think he can run for president. Can he? He wasn't born in the United States.
That's true, but that didn't stop. That wasn't going to stop Ted Cruz, was it?
Spoken like a true Texan as well. That's right. So maybe there's a way around that. There you go. Um, we'll see. I mean, for me, what makes Elon so fascinating is that he seems to be trekking. He's trekking with the same trends we're trekking with, or comparable trends. He seems to see something akin to a parallel economy as the future. He recognizes that wokeness is vile, even in the eyes of leftists. So he's hardly been shy about his opinion on the legacy media. He despises them. He sees them as liars, as jokers, a partisan joke. He pushes back against ESG and ESG companies, which is the left-wing environmental, societal, and corporate governance principles that basically impose wokeness on the rest of us. So I think he's a trend setter as well as a trend predictor. He sees the world going more in an alt direction, and that to me is very corroborating to what we're seeing. So we'll see where he decides he wants to go. The world is clearly his oyster, and but wherever he goes, I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of his. To me, you don't have to believe the right things. You just have to be on the right trajectory, as it were. And he certainly is.
Well, and I kind of put my personal opinions on him aside. Like, I've got all sorts of perspectives on what he thinks and doesn't think and his like vision of the future. But it's very obvious that, look, in many ways, first of all, God is in control. And like, you got to look at these things like black swan events at this point, as they're called, these kind of just
Right.
like, you can almost view Trump as one of these. It's just this out of the blue sort of thing that changes the course of history, that when you look back, like, really maybe it couldn't have happened any other way. But when you like looking back on history, we don't exactly know what was and wasn't those black swan events hundreds of years ago, because now they're
Right.
just
Right.
history, right? It's just
Great
how
point.
things happened. But
Great
we're
point.
kind of watching this happen now, and Elon Musk is, for better or for worse, been allowed in this realm that we live in to be
That's amazing.
this vector of stuff that is going on. And maybe not all of it'll be good, but it's all going to be like, it's going to be relevant at the very least,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what you can say.
And it's funny because I interviewed Dinesh D'Souza yesterday, and I brought this up. I said, how big in your opinion was Elon Musk buying Twitter? And I mean, he said, I mean, it's unfathomable, the significance of that, the ability that, he said he knows a few billionaires, to help finance his movie, and he said, I mean, to come up with $44 billion, to find 10 people who could raise that kind of cash together, each billionaire to put up 40 something bill 40 4 something billion dollars, and to find 10 to be able to do that would be an astronomical task. Here one guy just walks up and says, yeah, I'll do it. Just the bravado in of itself was stunning, unprecedented. And then to turn around and basically take the side of patriots from day one, and be willing to be the butt of jokes and ridicule and mockery and criticism of the lamestream media, including much of the financial media, but to have such a long range perspective, recognizing where we're going and what jokers they are and how they just don't really mean a whole hell of a lot in the network society. I mean, his talk about, I mean, just the extraordinary bravado and confidence that he has is just second to none. So yeah, he's a very admirable person.